Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the cabin. Today I want to talk about what is actually selling right now on eBay. What are the hot categories? What are the really hot categories that are going to get cold really quick? I want to talk about one particular thing. A lot of you may have heard about it lately, and some things that are just flying off the shelves. Let's go take a look. We're going to get into a lot of categories today, and then I'm going to ask you for a little bit of help. You know, a lot of you out there, well, most of you out there are sellers, and a lot of you have been selling for a long time, and you got your finger on the pulse. But I'm going to use some of the items that I'm selling to kind of piggyback onto the other items that maybe didn't sell for me today, but have been doing really well lately. Here's my, like, MCM bin. And it got full really quickly and stopped selling for some crazy reason. And then all of a sudden, they've started to go again. And I'm pretty happy about it. So maybe it's, you know, people aren't worried about decorating their house in the summertime. They're out playing around doing whatever. And now it's just picking back up. And I have sold these exact ones before. What do they call that? Filigree, I guess. And I've sold that one. I've sold both of them before, maybe slightly different frames. But the MCM stuff, this one says made in Italy. With the glass top right there, the little bubble glass tops on them. And these sold very quickly for $40 plus shipping. By the way, that's the kind of item that I just love, because people, a lot of folks do not put any value on that stuff at a garage sale. And you can find it. I sold those brass butterflies. There's all kinds of interesting things like that that people just don't value. The things that people value have, the prices have been going up at some of these garage sales, but finding those things, that's a good thing to put in the comments. What is something, if you're willing to share it, what is something you find all the time that people don't value but you know has worth? And here's an item that I just pick up. It's not exactly a hot seller, but it kind of goes along those lines. I pick this up wherever I find it for super cheap. It does not go for a lot of money, but this Miss Fritter from the Crazy Eights, that's how you know it's from Crazy Eights, always sells for me super quick, right about 10 bucks. And I think I paid $1.25 for it. I'm like, I know it doesn't meet my criteria, but I know it's going to sell super fast. So I'm like, what the heck, let's do it. So $1.25 into $10 plus shipping. I don't know why, but one of my favorite things to do is replace things on shelf space after they've sold. Gets more eyeballs on them. I believe these are Blanco candlestick holders. And I thought, you know what, that's the perfect color for Halloween. And that is something that is just now starting to really pop. And I don't mean glass, but glass has done well for me. I'm wondering out there if it's a good category for everybody. Tell me how you're doing on glass right now. But for me, it looks like my Halloween items are getting a lot more traction, a lot more views. I still haven't sold, I don't have that many. I haven't sold that. No, actually, that's not true. I sold one just the other day. I sold that witch that was sitting up there. And Halloween is great. And I've got a couple more items that I just picked up. Right now, you got to get it out there and get it selling, because it's going to start to pop really quickly. Christmas, not so much yet for me, but I can certainly see that happening. What about you? Are the holidays starting to sell? I almost hate to come in the eBay cave. I'm slightly embarrassed at the mess, but it's just because we're really pushing hard for Q4 here, and I just haven't had time to organize it at all. So let me see if I can find the right one. That is not the right one. These were awesome. I got to give a little shout out to a death pile picker for them too. So I'll tell you the story in just a second of where we got them. They are Neighbor Kids, N-A-B-E-R. And these right here, we were at a sale at the 127. This one is, I think it's Jason. And there you go. I'd never seen him before. And Mike was with me. Look at that. Harold Neighbor Kids. So that one's pretty cool. $45 plus shipping. So we're at the 127, and I was like obsessed with trying to find gold at the 127, which I did, which is exciting. So, but Mike was in there picking, and we had found some stuff, and Mike's pretty particular about what he picks. And he was looking at these dolls, and I moved over to somewhere else and started doing okay. And when we got back in the car, I had known, you know, he had walked away from them. So I'm like, you know, Mike's a good picker, so I guess those aren't worth anything, or not worth what they're asking. I think that particular sale, the guy had no asking price on anything, and he wanted you to make the offer and all that. Anyway, we go up the road, And I started talking about them with him, and he had already looked them up the road where he had his signal. He didn't have his signal. And he turns around at a yard sale, and I'm like, we just went down that road, Mike. And he's like, I know, we're going back. And it was for these right here. He decided he wasn't going to pick them, which was awesome. I kind of made an offer that was... I was the back out offer guy. I made an offer just to get the ball right, and I'm like, no, there's no way I'm paying this much for this stuff. And I kind of backed out of it, walked away and whatever. And he was like, all right, come on, let's make a deal on this thing. And the guy who was selling them, and I cannot remember, I want to say I paid $75 for that whole bin in there. Hoping that one of them would be really good. And it looks like one of them is really good, and we're going to do all right on this lot for sure. So this guy right here wasn't amazing, but he did sell quickly, $45 plus shipping. Looks like it's going to Japan. Back in the eBay cave, this stuff heats up for sure as fall comes around. You know, kids can tell you quite a bit about reselling without even knowing they're telling you. My daughter does she loves crafts, she loves painting, she loves all that stuff. She doesn't do any of that stuff in the summertime. And I've seen her lately with her little friend that comes over doing that kind of stuff. She actually asked me to clear off her desk downstairs that I had piled reselling stuff on. And so this is Stampin' Up new lot of ink. I can't speak today. 17 of them. Looks like one of them actually may not be new. Might have to send a message to that person, but the rest of them look like they're in packages, so should be good. I think unless we listed it as new and then said in the description maybe that some of them weren't new, but that lot right there is pure profit at this point, and it sold for $75.95. By the way, when I say pure profit, yes, I realize there's fees and everything, but after that stuff taken off, our cost of goods was paid for on previous lots. You know, I don't have much golf stuff right now. I have some of it listed, and I haven't had too many sales lately, but my uncle tells me, Uncle Steve Picker, he does a lot of golf, and he says right now the last few weeks have been amazing for him. And really what happens, y'all, is there's different areas of the country. Of course, they golf in the summertime in the north, but in the south, they don't. It's just ridiculously hot down in Florida, for instance. It kind of cools down. Obviously, as it cools down, as the weather cools down, the market heats up in Florida. Man, I'm really butchering this today. Same thing in Texas, same thing in Arizona, and so there's different seasons that are good. Matter of fact, you can sell golf year-round. It's not as good in the wintertime, but in the wintertime, they still play golf down in, Florida, like I said, in Arizona. That's the best time to play in Arizona, for that matter. But for the rest of the country, it really shuts down in the winter. So that is the worst. But the heat of the summer is also not great, and you sell it to different areas of the country at different times. But golf right now on eBay is selling pretty darn well. Looks like it's an eBay cave kind of day for me. Sold another one of the Black Rifle Coffee Company mugs, and these are going for $20.95 plus shipping. And of course, as we get closer to Christmas, I think those items that are new old stock, this isn't really too old a stock, but those kind of things people like to buy as Christmas gifts. Not the stuff that you're going to go to Walmart and find on the shelves, but something unique, something different. We're actually thinking about doing a Dibbed It stocking stuffer show here in a month or two with vintage items that are new. Some of the things that you see me sell all the time. You know, this kind of stuff. These are new items, but they're old stock kind of stuff. The ET pins, the bookmarks, and whatever. Stocking stuffer type stuff can do okay. Well, not quite yet, but we're getting there. You know, I mentioned an item that is super hot right now that I would probably avoid, unless you want to have a little bit of fun. The McDonald's collector mugs or glasses 2024. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this over the last week. And yeah, they have been selling, and some of them for really good money, certainly enough for you to pay for whatever you bought that day to eat. And so I think that that's kind of a trend. I typically stay away from this stuff unless you get in on it really, really quickly. And I suspect that these things they'll probably reach saturation point, and you're starting to see people who are still selling them, but they're doing things like they've bought a ton of them, and in their listing, they're putting all of the different types of glasses in their listing to get more attention, and then they're picking the ones that they want, reduced shipping and all that. I don't know. Has anybody done that out there? Did you do that with those? My guess is by the time this video airs, that will be completely saturated, and you might be able to make a few bucks, but it might not be worth your time. It is interesting, though, if you can ever get in on the ground floor of these things, like day one, you can make a bunch of money really, really quickly. And you certainly can feed yourself a lot of McDonald's, basically, for free. You know, my wife was smart enough, lucky enough, right place, right time to get in on those Stanley, what do you call them, tumblers, I guess, and she did pretty well on those. We did end up with a few too many at the very end, but we made a bunch of money on them, and we ended up giving those extra ones out for gifts, and then she kept one, of course. There are certain categories that I am okay going under my $15 amount on, and cassette tapes are one of them because I love them so much. I'm not gonna be able to do this. Do you remember I did a little experiment with that Hello Kitty thing the other day? It sold, but I don't think I'm doing it on this video today. Here we go. Freak Out, the Mothers of Invention. That's Zappa, right? And that one sold for $10.95. I paid $1 plus shipping. Now, I'm not going to put cassette tapes in the hot category, but I will say that if you find the right cassette tapes, there is definitely a market for it out there right now. There are people that collect those cassette tapes. Now, I would put cameras in that hot category. Cameras, for me, have been great, and I'm so fortunate because I had bought a ton of them, and I just hated listing them, and they just sat in a bin literally for a year at least. And the market just kept getting better, and so we listed all of them, and a ton of them sold. I still have a bin full of them back there, but I bet you I've sold at least a bin full as well. Cameras of all types are selling right now. For me, I think maybe, I don't know, are they going to go up during the holiday? I think they might still steadily climb. Let me know how cameras are doing for you out there. Denim, especially jeans, this is the time of year where they start to pop for me a little bit, and they really haven't. I dug through this earlier. It was at the bottom. I put it at the top. These Buffalo jeans sold for $19.95 plus shipping. I'm into them for $1. I went through and I sold a massive jean lot on Shop Commons because I was running out of space and I knew I had a bunch to list. And that sold really quickly. And I was hoping that this was all the jeans we had, would kind of whittle down to the top of here, and it has not yet. But I'm still hoping that the jeans are going to start to sell a little bit better. So far, not so good, but I'll take that one. I'm also hearing from some of my Poshmark buddies that Poshmark sales are unusually down for this time of year. Let me know if you're a Poshmarker and tell me if that's true. So here we go. This is whenever I see that little logo, around here I see it a lot because it's from Thomas Road, the Old Time Gospel Hour, Thomas Road Baptist Church, and I pick these up super cheap and I usually get okay money. This one is super giant print, Old Testament, First Chronicles through Malachi, and it did not sell and did not sell and did not sell. It went on our 30% off sale and it did sell, and it sold for $16.80 plus shipping. I've been following some of these Facebook groups, and it sure seems with Halloween coming up, you think Halloween items, but one thing that really does sell well is vintage, well, not even vintage, but especially vintage horror movies this time of year. And I've been checking out the VHS folks and their little Facebook groups. Matter of fact, I got a message. Well, I didn't get a message, but it was in the Trash to Cash podcast Discord. And what is his name? Minnesota, I think is what his name is. Minnesota Flips has talked about selling VHS horror movies and how they're selling really quickly for him right now. I've been mentioning there's very few messages to read lately. I still know there's viewer sales in here, y'all, so I want to thank you in case I don't thank you out loud, but this is one of those. I have no doubt there's a viewer sale. Edward, you bought 3 things, and a couple of them on discount. They've been hanging around a while. So, Edward, I want to thank you, and I'm going to pull these 3 orders really quick, even though there's not as many messages as usual. If you ever want me to read something, by the way, put a note to seller on the purchase. Those are the only things I read. The other ones, it's too hard to find all that stuff. So, thank you. And there was one other one that I was certain was a viewer as well, and that is Danetta. Did I get that right? Or Danette? Danette, sorry. I want to thank you as well. Have no doubt that you're a viewer, but sometimes if there's no message, I don't get a chance to thank you. So here is what Edward bought in his lot. He got this Lilo and Stitch mug right there, and that one sold for $14.95 plus shipping. Here's a perfect example as we get closer to fall. This is nothing amazing. It's just a John Deere modern sweatshirt, double XL, and people are searching for deals out there. And this is definitely a fall kind of item. You know, you probably pay 30 bucks at Tractor Supply, but somebody got it cheaper here. And this one was $14.99 plus shipping. And the watch drawer is Shad Juice's drawer. Look at that, it's right there on top. Winnie the Pooh, this one's been around for a long time, and I sold a ton of those watches off, but this one didn't quite ever get sold, but it's kind of neat. $6.90 some cents, I think, for this one. 97 cents. It went off on 30% off plus shipping. It is the political season, so that stuff should be hot right now. You know, I don't have any of it around. I have a couple things listed. That stuff sells right now. Obviously, the Olympic stuff is past. I really did well. I sold 3 or 4 of my Olympic items that I had not sold in like 2 years. And so that stuff was really good for me as well. And of course, don't ever forget about this. The most generic, plainest, normal football things sell right now better than just about any time all year except for right before Christmas. So get that football stuff out. Start looking around your death pile. You know, if you have a massive death pile, now's the time to really be selective and pull out those seasonal things. And just for, you know, my boy plays baseball, and he plays 2 seasons a year, and fall is one of those seasons. So some people always associate baseball with spring and certain sports, but nowadays with all this travel stuff and specialty stuff, which is cool, I love it for my boy, but it is a little ridiculous compared to the way we grew up. That stuff, baseball stuff, selling right now too. I know, because Turner's on there looking for all kinds of stuff, and I need to get on, I don't know, maybe I'll get on the Trash to Cash Facebook group and ask people if they have any of the stuff that he's asking for. His birthday's coming up. Here you go. More, not really Halloween, but definitely would sell during Halloween in Q4. It's a Alien 3, I guess a model. And that one sold for $54.95 plus shipping, and it sold fairly quickly. This was part of what Dawn Lady Arbitrage gave me as their trip across the country, and we were in 127 and they had bought so much, and so we made a deal on this stuff to make sure they could get back home. So thank you to Dawn, I appreciate that, and Carrie, of course, but Carrie doesn't buy this stuff. Dawn buys this stuff. Some more crafting type stuff. Now, you've heard me talk about shopcommons.net, and I have now, since it's been so successful, I used it for 2 things, of course. Getting rid of some of the things in bulk where I'm running out of space to make room for new inventory. But the other thing I've started to do, because it's been so successful, like, I mean, it's crazy. I've sold probably close to 40 lots over there already, and I've only listed like 48, so it's been really cool. At any rate, I started to buy specifically for that site things that I know I wouldn't bought and parted out or done whatever to make the money out of, because it's so time consuming. And I bought this lot of, I never heard of it before, Miss Elizabeth stickers stencil template lot. There was 500 of them in there, and I bought it for 20 bucks, and I wasn't going to go and make these individual listings for all these different things. And I just put it over there, and it sold for $63.75. Not a huge profit, but somebody is going to make, I mean, that's not a bad profit. 20 into $63.75, I'll take it. And the fees are so cheap over there. And it's only on the purchase of the item, not on the fees aren't on the shipping. So it's like a third of the fees of eBay. So for me, that was well worth it. I'm going to make close to 40 bucks on that one, and it's gone really quick, and it would have been something I passed up in the past, and that person is going to make good money over time on it, so I'm pretty happy about that. And we had another one, oh no, not today, actually we did, but I'll put it on the next video. We put a bunch of lots over there lately. Sold another Nike tee. If you remember, we sold these like crazy, and then summertime came around because they're long sleeve, and the sales really slowed. I'm looking for a medium here on them, and now that fall is coming, the sales are picking back up, which I'm really happy about. That feels like a small. Now I'll put the camera down if this one's not a medium. Yep, it's a small. Isn't that crazy how I feel like I've been doing, like I can pick it up and I can feel the weight, and I can know if it's a large or a small or a medium, and I picked that one up. I'm like, that feels like a medium, and it is. $19.95 plus shipping. Actually, I sold something on Dibbed It. Maybe y'all can help me. I swear I had this little Pikachu right here, right there, on this shelf. Maybe I can look back in the videos and see, but I can't find it anywhere unless it got hidden behind something. I might have to pull some things out. But at any rate, that one sold on Dibdit. It was not a deal of the day, and it sold for $7 plus shipping. I just want you to see how much I hate this bin right now. That's what it took to get that out of there. And talk about a dead item. These XM radios and stuff, they still sell. But man, it used to be just easy money to find these out there and sell them. And this one took forever, and it sold for $15. What is it? It's a Delphi XTXM Series SA10177 with the dock, all the accessories, only 16 bucks plus shipping. Definitely not high on my flipping list anymore. I pass them up all the time. You can get lucky, however, and some of y'all know this out there. Some of them have those lifetime subscriptions. If you find one of those, you can, and then you got to test it, make sure it's all lifetime subscription free and all that stuff. Then you can make a little bit of money. Plush has also not been flying off my shelves lately. However, we do okay, especially some of the cool big ones. And this little koala plush right here, which was really neat, had a little zipper. That one sold for $12.30 plus shipping. Here's some denim that's selling right here. This is perfect for this time of year. Get those sweatshirts, those hoodies, those jackets out there and listed right now. Boots are selling really, really well. We had a couple nice pair sell this week. And this one is a pretty cool Marlboro Country Store, but it's a size small and it's got a little bit of damage, but it's still good. And a little bit bigger, a little better shape. We'd have got 40 or 50, but this one sold for $26 plus shipping. So here you go. I told you, Olympus camera sale right here. This one sold for good money. Not as good as I thought when I picked it up, but still decent money. VR300, not the top of the line here, but still sold for $45 plus shipping. And here you go, football season. And if you know a little bit, if you know me, you know that my little boy is obsessed with football and baseball, but he loves watching, there's a local school here, Liberty University. He loves watching their football, and they were amazing last year compared to what they've been in the past. And so he likes going to the special days and getting autographs and stuff. And he gets extra ones now and sells them. So he got a sale. And it is this one right here. And I'll have to show you a picture of it because I'm not going to unroll it. And so he's going to make a little bit of money off of this one as the football season starts. I think it sold for $25. Cool little sale for him, plus shipping. All right, y'all, I thought I'd show you some of this. But then I saw Pepper out here taking a nap. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up, but man, we've been getting a lot of stuff up and running these days. All right, y'all, I said Plush wasn't selling great, but Danette bought Captain Crunch for $15.15 plus shipping, and I think she also got an ET pin. And that's not, it is right down there, and that was like $7.50-ish plus shipping. So thank you, Jeanette. I just realized that I didn't have an ending to this video as I was editing it, and I got some work to do today, so I figured I'd film an ending, and I forgot to put the kids on this video. They'll be back next video. Don't forget to tell me what's selling well for you out there today. I'm gonna go in here, do some work, finish this edit, post it so y'all can see it. Wanted to thank you as always for dropping by, and I can't wait to see you next time.